Hey everybody, it's me, Super Paul Games, and welcome back to Seduce Me. I'm really enjoying this game. If you want to play this yourself, in all of the videos, if you haven't noticed already, there should be a link below to where you can get the game yourself. I quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room. If you remember last time, our main character, Fatty Vag, was slapped by her dad for mouthing off, slamming the door behind me, and my breath came in short pants. Ooh, like Bobby and King of the Hill wears. And for a while, I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down to sit against it. How did things become like this? 'Cause your dad's an asshole? My cheeks still throbbed, and I tentatively stood up and looked at the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corner of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for the second time today. I had to be stronger than that. Girl, your grandfather died and your dad hit you in the face. You have a right to cry. If there's ever a reason to cry, those are pretty good reasons.
Are you all right? Your father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
Fuck you, Mom! Fuck you! What do you mean, you know your father? You're making an excuse for domestic abuse. Fuck you! You're worse than him! I'm fine, I just lost my appetite because Dad abused me.
The lasagna's done, though, and I don't want you skipping any meals. Are you sure?
The man who just hit me in the face is out there. I don't really care about your motherfucking lasagna right now, Mom. Yeah, don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat when he's sleeping or dead.
You're not telling me the whole story.
You told me Dad told you the whole story. I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
Being like what? Dad hit me! Yeah, Fatty Vag, I'd be so mad I'd want to punch everyone else. Look, I'm learning from Dad. I don't know how to control my rage. I wanted to tell her. A part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I knew she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. Tell her. Tell your mom. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past. Don't let someone who abuses you have control over you. I know it's scary. I know it is, but go for it.
I'll leave your food on the table if you want to eat it later.
I hope Dad doesn't punch that too. Or backhand it. He actually backhanded me, but it's still not right. Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything, to get my mind off of what had just happened. Anything would be better than thinking anymore about the pain still radiating from my cheek. Why don't we tell Suzy? Suzy's a go-getter. She might kill our dad. I was going to move into my grandfather's house tomorrow. I should probably pack my stuff so I'd be prepared for tomorrow. That was a good idea. And you know what, Dad? Fuck you! I'm not going to come work for your company. I should start packing. I opened the closet, rummaging around for a while before I finally found 2 large bags. Pulling them out onto the floor of my room, I began to empty my drawers and cabinets so I could bring all my things with me. I didn't have much to bring other than just clothes and some toiletries. It was kind of bizarre that I didn't have many personal belongings. It wasn't like my luggage was completely devoid of them, but I certainly didn't have many things in my room that I would miss if I just suddenly left the house. I shook my head to get rid myself of those thoughts. If it were going to be my new home, it would have to feel like it. One way or another, I was going to make it a home. Just as I was packing my things, my cell phone began ringing and vibrating in my pocket. Oh yeah, baby, vibrate hard. I slid my phone out of my pocket and answered it while slowly easing myself out of my bed. Who could possibly be calling me?
Hey, Anderson, you there?
Yeah, that's me.
Is everything all right? We were worried about you, so we decided to call.
For a moment, I was like, did you hear my dad hit me? Oh, wait, it's because of the funeral.
Hello?
I'm really glad you guys called. My voice managed to come out, though it was only a whisper. I'm really glad you guys called.
What happened? Are you okay?
Obviously, I'm not. Well, I slowly began to tell them about the funeral that afternoon. A small silence followed when I was done recounting what had happened. To my relief, Naomi finally spoke up.
I can't begin to imagine how you must be feeling right now. I'm so sorry. Do you want us to come over right now?
No, my dad might hit you too. No, it's okay. My dad isn't in a good mood. So, could we just, keep talking on the phone like this or something?
Of course. We'd stay on the phone until the crack of dawn. Right, Suzu? Yeah. We're always here if you need us.
After all, we wouldn't be the awesome triple threat trio without you, right?
Yeah.
Triple threat trio? That sounds like the name of a gang.
It is, Naomi. Now you have to go murder someone.
Yeah, I mean, we're all taking on the world together. We've got to sound somewhat scary, or else no one's going to take us seriously.
What's with you and naming things?
You've got to step up your game, Naomi. Falling behind the cool kids like Anderson and me. Tisk, tisk.
I like how they call just a bitch at each other.
Hey! I'm a cool kid. If anything, I'd say you have to step up your game.
Naomi, if you ever say, hey, I'm a cool kid, it means you're probably not a cool kid. We chatted cheerfully about all sorts of things that weren't Dad's hitting us. Very soon I'd forgotten about the events that day and was engaged in a conversation about Naomi's favorite TV show, some program called Herlock. Is that a mixture of Hercules and Sherlock? He's the world's strongest, smartest detective. We all agreed that the actor playing the titular character certainly had a very distinctive look about him, with that long overcoat and scarf wrapped around his neck. We had many disagreements about who we thought was the coolest character. He really has the high cheekbones, and his eyes are pretty. Though I do have to say I prefer Jatson, and as a bonus, he's so sassy. Oh, he could sass me all night long. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall and realized how late it was. Whoa, it's already 1 a.m.? Sorry for keeping you guys up so late. I think I'm going to hit the hay for tonight. See you guys at school tomorrow. I should probably shower and, go to bed. I can't believe I stayed up this late just to talk to my friends. But it was really nice, because they don't hit me like Dad does. Well, to the bathroom I go. I took a relaxing shower. Nothing beat hot water and the feeling of being clean. After drying myself, I promptly dressed in my pajamas and crawled into bed. A nice shower after a long day? I am so glad to be in bed or something. It had been a really long day. I knew that I was wishing for something to change back in class, but I certainly wasn't expecting any of the things that happened today. Yeah, nobody's going to be like, I hope my grandpa dies today, my dad hits me. And I have to go back to school tomorrow? I curled up on my side and tightly wrapped the blankets around me, like some sort of, soft taco. Ladies like my soft taco. I really wasn't in the mood to be returning to school, but my dad probably would make me go just for the sake of it. It's time to go to sleep or something. I reached out to the lamp on my nightstand to turn off the lights. However, my mind was so lost in the passing of my grandfather and the thought of inheriting something so big that it haunted my mind the entire night until the next morning. She was having dreams of furniture. Little Catches like, you own me now. Turn that off! I shook my head to try and clear the sleepiness out of me to no avail. I really didn't get any sleep last night. It's time to wake up already? Wait, school or something? As soon as I realized I had to go to school, I slid out of bed and looked at the vanity mirror. That mirror is so vain. That's a relief, though. We didn't bruise. Luckily, there was barely a bruise on my cheek. You had to squint to actually see it. I doubted anyone would actually notice it unless they leaned in really close. Breathing out a sigh, I got dressed, took my backpack, and caught a bus to school. I don't think our dad realizes that's going to encourage us being in dysfunctional relationships because he set the model for us of what kind of behavior we should put up with. Which you shouldn't put up with that if you can help it, but obviously if you're a kid, you don't have a lot of choices. It wasn't even hours before everyone heard the news. You can still try and reach out to somebody, though. I'm not like, just take abuse. I don't want that to be what people get out of this. I was approached in school and given condolences for my loss. However, that wasn't what shocked my friends.
Wait, so you have the whole Anderson house to yourself? Lucky as hell, man!
I'm a woman, Susie. You want to see?
Quit being so sensitive, Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi.
Quit being so vulgar, Suzu.
No, be more vulgar, Suzu. No, I want Suzu to be very vulgar all over my face.
Of course you would side with her.
So what? Shut up, Naomi.
Ha! See? At least she knows how to have fun.
Susie likes delicious spicy foods and having fun, Naomi. All you do is complain about things.
I know how to have fun.
You don't need to be wild to have fun.
Yeah, she's gonna go look at her cottage cheese collection. Guys, I'm going there after school today because my parents want me to get used to living there.
Seriously? It hasn't even been a day since you came back to school.
Yeah, well, my dad's a bitch. I know, but my parents, they want me to try living there as soon as possible.
Still, that's really fast. Are you going to be okay?
Of course, hi. But even in the comfort of my best friends, life seemed to keep testing me. Oof! Is that my dad? I would be so pissed if that was my dad. Again, he's like, BAM! Didn't see it coming this time, bitch! No, Dad, that is wrong.
Hey! Don't go around shoving people like that.
Whoops. Did I strike a nerve, Cappini?
Lisette, somehow with a description about you being perfect, I didn't think you looked like a man. She let out a small laugh as she twirled her hair around her fingers. Lisette was one of the last people I wanted to see today.
It's not me you should be apologizing to.
Oh, Anderson. Hey, how's it going?
I'm like alright or something, but you can't get in my pants. I like a real man, not you.
Haven't you already heard, Lisette?
Of what?
Her grandfather's passing.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't really watch a lot of news.
It doesn't really sound like you mean it.
I do mean it. Earnestly. Why wouldn't I?
Typical Cappini. Isn't her family involved with the mafia or something? I wouldn't be surprised if she brought out a bat from behind her back right this moment.
What? Who's the rude girl? I had nearly forgotten the crowd that followed Lisette, which was mostly comprised of people that no one wanted to see on a typical school day. No one had the slightest idea why exactly they followed Lisette around persistently, but they labeled themselves as social equals with her.
That is out of line. Suzu comes from an honest family.
Wait, they were saying bad things about my Suzu? I'm gonna murder them so hard.
Says the one whose family profits from political scandals.
I heard your mom was a prostitute, snobby girl.
Yeah, your dad doesn't make anything unless he's in the court with dirty politicians.
Rude girl, I heard your parents tried to abort you, but you survived and then they were sad.
Hey, let's all calm down for a second, alright? I'm sure Anderson needs some time to recuperate. I mean, what just happened? We need to give her some respect.
That's right, Lisette knows. Ugh. Just stop already, alright? Don't RSPEC sock it to me, you know? Don't. Stop acting like that already. Like you feel sorry for me. I'm Fatty Vag. No one feels sorry for me.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're happy seeing me like this. You already have everything you wanted, and now seeing me like this, life couldn't get any better. Because all you think about is being better than me, Fatty Vag. Bitterness seeped into me. The words started flying out of my mouth without filter. But honestly, I didn't care. I was so consumed by anger that I only saw Lisette in front of me. What am I exactly to you, Lisette? Just another part of your obstacle course? Because your fat little calves, your cankles, can't even get over me. Is that what I am to you, a hurdle? I'm sick of it, Lisette. Lisette, I'm sick of all these charades. I'm sick of you. Gasps rose from the crowd around her, and I was brought back to the school hallway. Even my friends beside me looked at me in surprise. I'm tearing her a new V-hole. One girl stopped. One girl looked like she was going to speak up, but Lisette held her hand up to stop her. There was an emotion in her face that I couldn't quite make out, but I could see a form of pity in her eyes. Now, don't you dare pity me, Lisette. Don't you dare. I looked away from her. I didn't want to see that emotion in her eyes when she was talking to me. She didn't have the right to look at me in that way.
I'm sorry. I know your grandfather passing away must have really taken a toll on your emotions.
Wow. Lisette, will you be my new dad? Because you've already been a better dad, even though you've been catty and kind of bitchy. She stepped towards me and put her hand on my shoulder, giving me a tiny smile, as if for old time's sake. But for some reason, I didn't feel comforted at all. Not that I was just angry at her, but the expression on her face when she leaned in close to me contorted into something complex. Something was different about her. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but something about her had definitely changed.
Well, I'll be going for now. Track meet responsibilities and all of that stuff. See you later.
Something about Lisette made me feel uncomfortable. I wasn't just angry, but also uneasy. Maybe you gotta poop? I don't know. What was it? I'd never seen her like that before. But I decided to pay no further attention to it. She continued running down the hallway with her gaggle of her friends behind her. I refocused my attention to Mrs. Phillips, who was walking down the hallway towards me. Oh, it's Ewwww.
Is everything all right, girls?
Do you walk funny because one boob is way bigger than the other? No?
Nothing we couldn't handle, Mrs. P. Just a bunch of snobs.
Suzu, hush! It was nothing, Mrs. Phillips.
I see. Well, Miss Anderson, please accept my condolences for your loss.
Oh, that's nice of you, Mrs. Phillips. Thanks. Thank you, Mrs. Phillips.
Your grandfather was a good man. He really upheld the philanthropy of his company's policies, and the money that went towards charity, too.
I helped him design a bear once. I know, he was, amazing. I really look up to him, and I want to be as good as he was. Way better than you, Mrs. Phillips.
Well, I know that you'll be as great as your grandfather.
Hell yeah, she will. She'll be 10 times better than her grandfather.
Well, everybody's kissing my ass now. Would I? Would I really be better than my grandfather? Everyone seemed to have high expectations for me. I wanted to do my best and make my family proud, but to be better than my grandfather? I wasn't sure about that. From the outside of the school window, I saw a familiar blue car pull up to the curb. Undoubtedly, it was my father in the driver's seat. Oh, no. Teacher, he hits me. My ride's here. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Want us to come with you?
Please. No. It's okay. I'll be fine. See you. Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey.
As I got into the car, I noticed my father looked troubled, clutching at the steering wheel and staring straight ahead, as if something was really bothering him. Maybe a thing called guilt? I would like it if this was actual size, that he was really this small compared to the car. He's like some sort of fucking leprechaun trying to look over the dash.
About what happened yesterday. I'm sorry for yelling at you. Does your cheek still hurt?
Are you sorry for hitting me? Because you didn't apologize for that. No, it's nothing to worry about. I'm just fine.
I mean it. I shouldn't have laid a finger on you. You know that you're my most precious daughter. You're all that I have.
If that's how you treat your most precious daughter, I'd hate how you treat your least precious daughter. I'd hate to have to see it, I mean. Yet he couldn't bring himself to say what he could never say to me for such a long time. I always wanted to hear those words to affirm how he really felt, but I guess even now he couldn't say it to me. I turned my head away to look out the window. There was no point in waiting for something that was never going to come. Are we talking about sex here with not coming? If I could be a bird on Mr. Anderson's shoulder, I would punch him in his damn fat head. Then I'd also say, dude, tell your daughter you love her, because if you wait too long, by the time you finally tell her, she won't care anymore. And like that, he started to drive, and the conversation between us ended. I decided to focus my attention on the passing scenery. We were taking the usual route to grandfather's house. Is it, what is it? I was trying to think of the over the river and through the woods. To grandfather's house we go. Kind of changed it. My father knows the way that the horse pulls the sleigh. It was located within the vicinity of the school district, but it was still pretty far from the school and where our house was. He had always lived alone. He insisted on doing things by himself. Yeah, hitting us by himself. Even at his age, living in such a large house. Oh, Grandpa didn't hit us. I wondered, did he pass away with no one at his side as well? It sounded so lonely and sad. It was strange that he decided on living all alone in his large estate. If anything, he could have lived with us. Though he and my father probably would have given each other the silent treatment the entire time, maybe living alone was preferable to that. I actually hadn't visited him for quite a while. Visits to his house were the most frequent when I was a child, and I had grown up long since then. The last time I visited him, though, I thought he looked just like he usually was, happy and healthy. But things change. In the back of my mind, I knew that he would have to leave one day. It wasn't like humans could live forever. So why did my heart feel so heavy? It's because you love your grandpa and you miss him. The car ride was mostly spent in silence until he spoke up again.
How was school? Maintaining your grades, I hope.
Are you fucking kidding me? After what happened yesterday? This is your small talk? Get bent! Yeah, I'm trying my best so far.
Trying? That's not really doing the best you can, is it?
You gonna hit me again, Dad? Ugh. With my father, only some words I said were filtered through his fat ears. It was difficult to keep up a conversation without eventually talking about academics or my future, even if it was something loosely based on it. He always found a way to integrate it in whenever we talked.
Anyway, your belongings are in the trunk. There isn't a lot, so I'm sure you can manage bringing them inside the house. After all, you are on the road to being independent now.
Holy shit, you're an asshole, Dad. You're not even going to help me with my stuff to bring it in the house to make sure I'm set? God, you should have been the one that died. I hate you. Yeah, I can manage on my own. I'm going to put you in an old folks' home as soon as I can. The usual silence resumed between us. I really wasn't sure what to say around him, especially when most of the time we didn't share the same opinions. One question did linger in my mind, though. If he was going to justify acting so nonchalant at grandfather's funeral, I had the right to at least know why. Oh my god, are you going to ask again? Dare you ask again? Fuck it, I'm going to ask again. If he wants to hit me again, fuck him. Say, Dad, about you and Grandpa?
We are not talking about this.
I feel like we should, because Grandpa did leave us yesterday, so... See, Dad, you made a mistake. You can hit me all you want, but you don't understand the power of being passive-aggressive and annoying. I can get under your skin. You lost control. The moment you lose control. It's like in an argument, they say the first person to raise their voice in an argument loses. I know I can control you. You can hit me, but I can control your anger. I am more powerful than you could ever imagine. When you struck me down, that happened, Father. I learned it from Star Wars.
I wouldn't care if he had left even long before that. I do not want to hear it, and that is the end of this conversation.
As always, he managed to shut down any other form of conversation related to him. It's just like what happened last night. I opened my mouth slightly, but closed it again. It was like talking to a brick wall. It wasn't like I could find out anything by somehow arguing my way through it. I will find out, Father, about what happened between you and Grandfather. All right, then. I leaned against the car door and stared out the window. I really couldn't think what this place would be like. I had been to my grandfather's house before, but it was one thing visiting, and it was another thing actually living there. Hey, Dad, how do you feel that my house is better than your house? Suck it. How would I manage living on my own without any training to really care for a house? Well, if we inherited his entire estate, there's probably money in the account. I knew that naturally the bills would be paid by my parents, who inherited my grandfather's stocks to the corporation, but I had never lived independently before. Thinking about it made me feel like some kind of bird being pushed out of the nest. Though I was technically an adult, I felt unprepared and a bit daunted at the prospect of actually moving into a new place. Most people my age would be ecstatic about moving out. I'm moving there right now, after I would symbolize some kind of change in their lives, like being on the road to independence. But I felt like it was nothing of the sort. Well, kind of with the way the funeral happened, and our asshole dad pushed us out, it kind of isn't the best way to have that happen. I really hoped I wouldn't let my parents down. Really? At this point, I want to give a shit what your parents think. I wouldn't want to let grandfather down. I would understand that. What would he be saying right now? He'd probably be like, punch your dad back. I gazed up at the passing clouds in the sky. If you're out there, grandfather, how would you be doing? Would there be anything you'd want to tell me at this moment? And of course, no answer. What was I doing? Searching for an answer in a heaven that would or would not exist. I ducked my head to stare at the blur of trees and cars from the car window. My head was definitely going into the clouds there at that moment. Either way, I found myself being driven off to my new home. And there we are. Our new house, our palatial mansion estate that we got from our father, or not our father, our grandfather. Are these guard towers back here? When the zombies come, Dad, you're going to die, because my guard towers will keep you out and the zombies out. They will eat your face. Well, everybody, that's the end of this episode of Seduce Me. I am really enjoying the game. I hope you're enjoying the Let's Play. I will see you all in the next episode, assuming you come back. Please don't leave me. I need someone to seduce me. There's been no seduction yet. Goodbye.